Welcome back to Section 4 fans. Today we're going to be making our Premier League predictions and ranking the top 10 signings of the summer and breaking down the latest moves and storylines from around the sports world. Plenty it takes, so let's get into episode 41. Before we get into our Premier League predictions, I figured we could talk about West Ham real quick here. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they do in the championship. It's been quite some time since they've been down, and I know a lot of people are thinking that they're going to go right back up. I do think this is going to be a long and a grueling season for West Ham. I think, without a doubt, they're definitely one of the strongest sides in the championship. However, I do think with their lack of depth, I feel like a couple injuries and it could derail their whole season. What do you think of the squad? How do you think this season's going to go?
I think with watching how West Ham played this past weekend, I don't think there's going to be much stress on their body, just how they play. Like, it's not like getting pressed, but they press high up the field. Watching the game, it looked like they took their time in possession. Obviously, they're probably going to be playing against a lot of lower blocks this season.
Oh, for sure. I feel like that's a lot of
but
championship ball.
I mean, I don't see West Ham. The worst I see West Ham finishing is second.
You said you got them second. Who do you
That's
think?
That's the worst I see him finishing.
Worst you see him finishing. Okay.
Yes.
And if West Ham comes second, who do you picture topping the table?
I think Wolves probably is going to be the other team fighting for it. I like Southampton, Middlesbrough as well. But Southampton are starting with a 4-point deduction already because of the Spygate and all that. I think the championship's so competitive where it's kind of like spots from 4th to probably like 15th are going to be well within 6 points of each other. So it's just going to be so much interchanging.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict the championship.
It is. It's very unpredictable. We saw that last year. I think a lot of people, a lot of sports books did not have Hull getting promoted. I think that was kind of like a big thing last year. So, every year it comes down to obviously the first two teams go through, but also for this season and beyond, they've expanded the playoff format, correct? It used to just be teams 3 through 6, right? We're in the promotion playoff, and now it is teams 3 through 8, I believe.
Yep.
So that will also add a factor because now you're getting 2 more teams in that playoff push, and also adds probably an extra game. I'd imagine in there, so it'll be interesting to see after such a long season how some of those playoff teams can finish out that season and hopefully find their way back to the Prem. We're here for the Premier League. One of us has a team in the Prem right now. A lot of signings have gone on. I kind of feel like it's seemed like a long window between all the Fabrizio reports that have come out, 2 weeks prior to when the actual player gets signed. I feel like that stretched out, and also with the World Cup, I feel like we got a lot of moves done prior to the window, and then it took a break, and now I feel like it's just getting spammed in these last couple weeks here as we round out the month. So with all these signings that have happened, I know I've got my list, you've got your list. If we want to kind of crank out the signings here first, then we can get into maybe some of the other predictions, how we think the Prem's going to shape up this year.
Yeah, that works. I have transfer actually just completed today, fully finalized today. Ousmane Diomande to Forest from Sporting. 22-year-old center back. Costed. This is all in USD. $46 million. I think Forest will pass him on to a bigger club for a lot more money a few years down the line, which will be beneficial for them. It was my 10 spot was between him and Gonzalo Garcia.
Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah.
That was my 10 spot. 9, Senesi, center back to Tottenham on a free. I think he's just going to add good depth, especially with Tottenham's always having injury problems.
Yeah.
You can do so much with that back line, adding him in on a free, as well as obviously they have Robertson. They added another center back who I'll get to later.
I think we both had that one.
And then Van de Ven as well can play at left back as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that can happen with that back line.
Yeah, they're getting
They definitely
depth.
restructured that
Yeah.
whole back line, which is what they needed. Number 8, Antonio Silva for Bournemouth. Senesi's replacement, pretty much, in that back line. 22 years old. I think Bournemouth will, again, pass him on for a crazy transfer fee a few years later down the line. Bournemouth obviously needed center back help after they pretty much lose their back line, I feel like, every single year the past couple of years.
Yeah, that's what happens when you got, good young talent that, these big clubs are going to pay big money for. You got to sell them.
Yeah, and it's a smart investment in Antonio Silva. So moving on to 7, Sandro Tonali. 26 years old, 790. It was up near 100 million. I thought he was older than 26. I thought he was nearing 30, but obviously in the prime of his career, he's been solid all around. The only downfall in his career has been that betting scandal a few years back. But
nothing new in today's age at this point, right?
Yeah, he's going to dominate that midfield at Tottenham, and a major upgrade in the midfield as well from
100%.
From who they've had before. He's past 2 seasons, he's played 45 plus games for Newcastle each season. So Tottenham needs healthy guys, and they got one in Tonali. Next one, 19-year-old Luka Vuskovic. I believe I pronounced that correctly. From Brighton, pretty much signed him with the Van Hecke deal. He was on loan at Hamburg last year and had 6 goals as a center back. It's one of those Brighton investments that will pay off well down the line, and they paid a hefty fee for him, but at 19 years old, he's gonna be a Van Hecke straight replacement. He's 6'4". He's huge. I think he'll do really well in the Prem this upcoming year. What do we got? Fifth, Elliot Anderson. I thought he did really well at the World Cup.
He had a very, very good World Cup.
I thought he
that's definitely what you want to see after seeing the money spent on a player like that.
What was it, 120 million?
I believe so.
That's crazy money. That's why. He's going to be a phenomenal player. I don't think City will get the profit City will get out of it is going to be what he contributes to the team and what kind of hardware he brings in.
He can win. Yeah,
that's going to be the profit City get out of this transfer. It's not like you can sell him on for X amount more money. He is going to be there for a while. I'm assuming that's what City plans on doing.
100%. That's a type of player that you could build a midfield around for sure.
And he's going to win everything in the midfield, 100%.
Saw that a lot this World Cup.
Moving on to 4, Morgan Rogers. Just adding to Chelsea's attack, why not? I think that could potentially be like 140 million, something crazy like that. had fantastic past 2 seasons at Villa, 14 goals each season, and double-digit assist contributions. City Academy product. I mean, you're seeing all these City Academy products pop up nowhere. Him and Cole Palmer
Teaming up again.
teaming up at Chelsea. Rodgers can play anywhere in that front midfield three, left, in the middle, or on the right. Jabi Alonso is going to have fun with him and Cole Palmer together in that front four attacking shape. Moving on to 3, I have Van Hecke. I put him at 3 just because of how badly Tottenham needed a better center back. I think he's a major upgrade from Christian Romero. I think he's more disciplined, much more disciplined. I think he's going to lead that back line for Tottenham overall. I think Van de Ven can pop out left. They can play a 5-back or 3-back if they really wanted to. But Van Hecke is he's going to be just a complete safety net back there for Tottenham. I kind of wish Tottenham would have went out and grabbed the goalkeeper as well. I mean, Trafford was there for the taking, but I mean, that's an expensive goalkeeper right there, especially for how unproven he is, you could say, and the wages probably insane. Number 2 might be a little shock. Harry Wilson.
See, this is what I was talking about, the long break. Like, you forget some of these players are making moves, but yeah, continue.
Harry Wilson on a free to Leeds. He, looking back at his seasons with Fulham, 2022-23 struggled, 23-24, 5 goals, 9 assists, 24-25, 6 goals, 1 assist, and then last season, 11 goals, 8 assists. He's getting goal contributions every single week in the Prem. And I'm excited to see him in this Leeds team because of how high energetic they are, and it feels like, especially at the atmosphere in Yorkshire where they play.
Watching them play, especially late in the year, those midweek games, at night, it was the scenes were epic. The way they were able to stay afloat with all that energy.
He's gonna feed off that.
And, I'm looking forward to seeing what they could do this year. I'm hoping, once again, they stay up. I feel like that's such a good club. And I feel like they definitely get the love in America, too, mostly from Brendan Aronson. So I think they do get a pretty good audience out here as well, too. So
yeah, I think he's going to be a real boost to that squad, energy-wise. And then number 1 spot just happened. Bruno Guimaraes. I think Tottenham needed 1 upgrade, probably, or 2, left wing, and just a midfielder that will just sit in front of the back line. I think they really want to push Declan Rice more up the field, progressing the ball. And, I mean, Bruno is going to clean everything up. He's gonna do all the dirty stuff for Arsenal that I feel like they need to go back-to-back in the Prem.
Yeah, I mean, a big time signing for him. Definitely the boost to the squad and to the depth that they needed in order to not only compete in Champions League once again, but also try and make that push for a back-to-back title, like you were implying there. Yeah, I mean, some people were left off your list.
A couple guys that I was looking at.
Yeah.
Obviously Gonzalo Garcia. I was looking at Jaden Anthony, João Gomez. I was also looking at Manzambi, but I was just thinking World Cup hype.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Frankfurt keeps getting these crazy fees for these players. It's insane.
I mean, anyone will pay anything
every
at
year.
This point. The amount of money we've seen spent on players that are either unproven in whatever big league they transfer to or just unproven in general, and teams are putting out hefty amounts. It's definitely shocking in terms of it seems like you're investing quite a bit into guys that basically you're just hoping they can hit their ceiling.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Same thing carries into other sports. You see it in the NFL a lot. Sometimes it ends up being a successful move, and other times you get guys that can make a big move, and it, for whatever reason, it just does not pan out the way anyone thinks. Sancho is the name that comes to mind. Obviously got the big-time move to United, and for whatever reason, whether it was between the managers and him and whatever it was, he just could not get into the squad. Should he have gotten into the squad, maybe more chances? That's a completely different conversation, but you kind of see a little bit of a downfall and slowly move out of the Prem. But, yeah, it's a tough league to get into, and it's a tough league to, prove that you have a place to play. So I think for me, I got some pretty exciting signings. I got some ones that I know maybe you either missed or you just didn't include. 10, I'm going same route as you with Ousmane Diomande, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Going to Forest. Love that. Very young, promising center back there. It's exactly what they need. Also, disclaimer, didn't know we were ranking these, so they may not be 100%.
Here's the thing about the rankings is that all these are good signings. Each team needed different guys.
Yeah.
And they could be so interchangeable.
100%, especially as we get closer up here.
Look at it as the top 10.
Yeah. For me, at 9, I think I'll go with Gonzalo Garcia at Fulham. You've already touched on him quite a bit. I think that's going to be another great signing for Fulham. I'll also throw in I'll kind of go back-to-back here with Bournemouth at, 8 and 7. Mm-hmm. I'll go with Antonio Silva, and I'll go with Wanlu. I believe that's how you say his name, Wanlu. He's a right-back midfielder, I believe. I really like the signing.
How do you spell this name?
Just Juan and then L-U. It wasn't a crazy fee. Sevilla. The fee wasn't a lot. That was another reason why I kind of took that into consideration. And I feel like we're seeing that more and more, where these outside backs can almost at times play into like a center mid type of role, where they tuck in a bit. But he seemed like a great player, and obviously being in La Liga, that's a tough league to play in, so he's got the experience there. So I think it should be a seamless jump over to Bournemouth, and that was also kind of what you've been alluding to, is they've been basically getting young defenders. They play out of their minds, and then they move on elsewhere. Yeah. So I think it's going to be similar things following next season, but that's what I got for 8 and 7 there. What am I? Okay, well, I guess I was short one on my list, but I'll include it here. What do we got? I got Lacroix at Chelsea.
Yeah, that was one I was thinking hard about.
I liked. Chelsea, I feel like, has like 80 players at this point, but
no center backs.
Their center backs have not been, the better players on the pitch. And I think bringing a guy like Lacroix in, he's been proven. With Palace, obviously he won some silverware there, and he's had quite a good stint in the Premier League so far. So I think moving to a big-time club like that is going to be great for his career. So that's who I got at 6. Then at 5, I've got Jack Butland.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
He was pretty good for Rangers for the past, I believe he was there for about 3 years. And
they signed the 23-year-old from Olympiacos.
Maybe Butland's too high on the rankings.
You just put a backup goalkeeper.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Told me. I maybe wouldn't have gone with a backup here.
Just put the Greek dude in.
Okay, we're scrapping Butland because this is panned out horribly. My bad, everyone here. 5th, we're going with Mamadou Sangaré, going to Brentford.
Okay, all right. So you audibled here.
Yeah, I audibled.
Okay,
I'm going with Sangaré to Brentford.
That's a good.
Like
good
I said,
one.
the rankings don't really mean anything in my eyes until like top 3 on my list at this point. Like that signing.
What did you think of him at Lens last year?
I didn't watch Lens, I got to be honest. But World Cup, he played.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He's from Mali.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Okay,
That's a
well,
good-
I like him. I've never
that's a
seen
good
him play.
signing. That's fine. It's a good signing. It's $55 million, so they're taking a huge risk on a 24-year-old who's going to be the backbone of their midfield. Who they're going to put.
Must
trust
be
in.
good.
I mean,
Must be good.
I mean, $55 million for Brentford. That's a hefty.
It seems
fee.
hefty. 5 mil is almost like not really like.
I mean, he was playing in Austria, and then Lens signed him. He does well at Lens, and then he goes straight into Brentford.
Brentford, exactly.
And aren't they doing like AFCON again this year?
But obviously that is going to affect a lot of teams, and some teams
Oh,
it
yeah,
won't
it's-
affect.
Or it doesn't. It doesn't.
It doesn't affect play.
No, it's June 19th to July 17th next year, 2027. Which,
Perfect. So Sangare will get some time in Brentford. Hopefully, I get to watch him. I'll go with Anderson at 4
Okay.
to City. Like the signing, a lot of money, but
Yeah.
as we saw in the World Cup, seems to be well deserved if he could keep his play up. At 3, we'll go with Van Hecke. As you mentioned, Spurs needed a center back.
Perfect fit.
And literally the perfect fit there. 2, I got Bruno G to
Bruno.
Arsenal.
Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes. And I got him at 2. Honestly, kind of just seemed like a weird signing to me. I didn't feel like Arsenal really needed that, but, well, I mean, you're not going to pass on a player like that, but I didn't think that would be a move they would make because also I didn't think he would have been available. That's kind of what I'm getting at here. I didn't think Newcastle would have sold him, but also Newcastle, as it seems like they could be going down too. So
I don't know about Newcastle going down. I would say
I feel like
if Eddie
they
Howe,
sold a lot of people.
I mean-
their coach is out.
I mean, Eddie Howe leaving, I think,
Do you think Eddie Howe leaving Newcastle is being more blown up by the media and then what it like actually affects kind of?
No, I mean, I think it shows a little bit of disparity within the club about decision making and not being able to sign players because Newcastle's trying to make that step up into a top 6 every single year. I mean, that's what their goal was when they had
Yeah,
the
that was
Saudi
when they
takeover.
signed all the big signings.
And I think the big thing is, like, a lot of people say the location is what affects the signings, which honestly, I don't know if it is or not. But I think it's difficult for a manager to leave like a month before the season starts and like right in the middle of preseason when you're trying to make signings. And it's a tough loss for Newcastle, but I think they'll be mid-table this year.
You still have the faith in the remaining squad.
Yeah, I think they'll finish 10th or 9th.
Yeah.
I
Hey, they
think-
still
I
got
think-
Wissa.
Well, I think what's going to help them a lot is a lot of these teams are playing in Europe now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Kind of the same deal with Tottenham. I think because of all these good signings and the fact that they're not playing in Europe, I think they'll be able to easily. I don't know. I want to say like top 6, but I don't know if
6.
that's a stretch. I feel like
No,
like
it's not a
top
stretch.
6 is. It makes sense when you think about all these teams that are now having to play in European competitions that have not previously. It's going to affect you one way or another, and just the less amount of games for Spurs, I think, is going to help them there. But continuing on, after that, Bruno to Arsenal for spot number 1, correct? I've got
You don't want.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Why is this harder than name to pronounce? Tielemans.
Tielemans, bro.
Either way, Tielemans. I mean, that's a solid signing, especially playing how much you guys are going to be playing this year.
That was exactly what we needed. Help booster the midfield, especially to
Just a solid player.
get that kind of CDM type of role figured out with Ugarte going down in the World Cup. Definitely needed a much better guy than him in the squad anyway. So now we bring him into the squad, and it should be a good signing. I saw a couple clips in the friendly against PSG, and it looked pretty good. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does at United. Obviously, United also brought in Santos. But once again, like we've been mentioning, just the more games that they're going to be required to play this year, just trying to get some good quality depth in is the end goal. I think they do need to make one or two more signings. I saw Mason Mount went out. I don't know if I believe he left the friendly against PSG with an injury. Don't know how serious that is, but hopefully it's not too bad, or else we need another midfielder badly before the deadline. Try and help that depth out there because we only got so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the top 10 for me.
Let's rip out the table.
Yeah. The table should be better here. At least, yeah, we can hope.
My
17
three
to 10.
relegated teams: Hull City, Ipswich. Nothing against the two teams. I just think it's going to be. I don't see I just don't see them better than any other teams really. And then lastly, Palace. Playing Europa League with, I believe, a new manager who obviously had success at Lens last year. Forrest pulled Glasner away from Palace.
Yeah, that's huge.
I think that speaks volumes about where Palace is at right now. I think they've had a lot of success. I think a lot of that has been due to great signings that they've had.
Yeah.
And great signings and Glasner, plain and simple.
No, 100%. I mean, they didn't win anything until he got there.
Yeah, and I think they're going to struggle this year, bad, unfortunately. It's my three relegated teams.
For me, I was kind of sitting right on that edge of Crystal Palace or not. I think all three that got promoted go back down.
Really?
Hull, Ipswich, Coventry.
I think Coventry escape barely.
I think they can, but also I feel like even though Palace lost quite a bit of players and the manager and whatnot, I do think that on paper, I feel like they should be the better squad when looking at Coventry, especially taking into the Premier League depth. But also, that's why it made it hard because, like you mentioned, the Europa League, that's just going to be more games on the legs with little depth you already have. So that 17-18 is going to be a battle to watch all year. So it'll be exciting to see probably a month in, get a nice little picture about where some of the teams are at. But that is going to be my three relegated sides there.
I'll tell you the order that I think it'll go in, like exactly now that I see it in front of me. I think Brentford will finish 17th. And then I think it'll go Coventry 16th. Then I think I'll go Fulham 15th, Sunderland 14th, Everton 13th, Bournemouth 12th, Leeds 11th, then Newcastle 10th.
I'm still okay. For me, 17 through 10, I've got Crystal Palace, Leeds, Brentford, Newcastle, Everton, Fulham, Sunderland, Aston Villa.
Ooh, the Champions League gonna kill them.
You want to go 9 to 5?
Yep. All right, ready?
Yeah.
I'll go first. Forest, 9th. Villa, 8th. Brighton, 7th. Liverpool, 6th. Tottenham, 5th.
I've got Bournemouth at 9, Brighton at 8, Forest at 7, Chelsea at 6, and Spurs at 5.
Then my top 4, 4-1. United, 4th. Chelsea, 3rd. City, 2nd. Arsenal remain the champions.
For me, I've got Liverpool 4th, Man U 3rd, Arsenal 2nd, and City winning the league. That's what I got. New under Maresca. I think they get it done.
I guess my shockers here are going to be Brentford fighting relegation.
Yeah, for me, I had Newcastle down here. I feel like
You got to remember, Newcastle was on playing Champions League last
Yeah.
year. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll finish 10th.
That's why I didn't slot them, too close to the relegation battle, but just enough to make their supporters unnervy throughout the season, where a couple games spell and you could find yourself in that zone. But I think they still finish relatively close to the mid-table there. As we've both mentioned, I do think the European competitions are going to affect so many teams this season. I believe, do you know off the top of your head how many actually are playing in Europe? I want to say it was like 8 or something like that. So obviously you get the teams that are used to it. Those are, the big teams that have all the money so they can afford to bring in good quality depth. So they can continue to compete in both the Prem and whatever European competition they're in. And I feel like a couple of the other teams are going to slip a bit in the Prem just from, tired legs or injuries that get picked up midweek, things like that. So I think that's going to be Tottenham's time to shine is in the Prem this year. I think if they can start off hot, that should keep them rolling for quite a bit as some of these teams get into European play. That's a lot of Premier League talk for the day. We got Tuesday, August 11th, as we're recording. I believe Premier League starts. I know you don't know it. You're not even in it no more.
Not this weekend, but following
Friday.
weekend.
Yeah, Friday the 21st, 10 days away from Arsenal Coventry. That's going to be a great game to open the season up. Newly promoted team and defending champ. So I'm looking forward to that. I know in America we got a lot of things coming out.
Puka could face a suspension.
Yes, I saw that. And my one word to the NFL investigating that is the LA Rams.
It's not really clear who's investigating it or if there's an investigation.
Yeah, I saw it too. I wasn't really sure if it was true. I think there's a lot of other reports that the NFL should have looked into this offseason.
It's being reviewed by the NFL, but it's possible when the Rams versus 49ers play in Australia, Puka Nacua doesn't play in that game.
Yeah. I just feel like there's other things the NFL should investigate in before they investigate into something that's already been legally investigated into. I'm looking forward to the NFL. I'm looking forward to diving more in as the season gets closer.
Should we say the elephant in the room? Kyler's starting.
Yeah, that was getting to that. The big news today coming out of NFL training camp was Kyler Murray named the Minnesota Vikings starter. You're a big Minnesota Vikings guy. I know you told me personally you went to their open training camp. I believe that was Saturday or Sunday night.
Sunday night,
And
buddy of mine
so
invited me out.
just wanted to get your thoughts about what you saw from that practice just as a whole. So after what you've seen on training camp, how that whole day was for you, not just the QB battle.
If we're going based off a battle on that day, I think JJ won it handedly. Kyler had some pretty bad throws, and watching Kyler play in person, it's like, how do you see over the offensive lineman? Because I'm sitting in the crowd and I can't even see Kyler behind the offensive lineman when
I believe he's what, like 5'10"? Or is he shorter than Drew Brees?
He's short. I don't know what he is, but he's short. But I mean, fair play to him. I mean, Heisman, greatest quarterback in Texas high school history, arguably, and then first overall pick. But I think he's going to bring a new type of quarterback to Minnesota that Minnesota hasn't really seen since, you could say, Teddy Bridgewater, but he didn't even scramble that much as a quarterback, I felt like.
What, a little Culpepper action?
Yeah, I mean, that I didn't experience that, but
Yeah. It's definitely a different quarterback than what we're used to seeing
or
in
Webb.
the
I don't know
KOC
if you remember
system.
Webb. He was long ago.
Yeah, I'm not a Vikings fan, so I'm used to team riding a quarterback
Yeah.
for a couple of years.
But no, I mean, just based off how he played today, I heard he did really well after being named starter. I think when he signed, I think it was already decided that he was going to start the season unless something dramatically happened that J.J.
Yep.
McCarthy looked like Tom Brady out there compared to Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
But
he may be looking like
I
Drew Bledsoe.
I think J.J. McCarthy showed major improvement this training camp overall. I think he was a lot more confident. I think he was a lot more free-flowing, loose. At least it looked like when he was out there. I think starting last year is a lot of pressure on him, especially a young quarterback. I mean, we got to remember he's not a fifth-year senior coming to the NFL.
No, I believe he's 23 this year.
Yeah,
right?
he was a 2-year starter at Michigan and went straight to the NFL. Like, he won a national championship. I think he will be a successful quarterback in the NFL at some point.
Still believing.
Yeah, I'm always going to believe in JJ.
No, I'm probably like rest of the other people, probably time to give up on JJ, but also when you look into it, next year he'll be entering year 4, and that's kind of when they decide on the player option. But like as of now, contract's cheap, and there's not really a need to throw him up on the trade block. Because at the end of the day, like, you don't know what Kyler's going to do in the offseason. You're just hoping that you can continue to develop your J.J. McCarthy to be the quarterback that whoever in the organization thought he could be. If KOC hated drafting J.J. that much, he probably would have left by now if it was that much of a headache. So he's definitely still enjoying his time with the Vikings there. I'm more, at least from an outside Minnesota Vikings fan, looking at it, I feel like this is a very questionable year for Justin Jefferson. He hasn't had a big year since Kirk. Darnold. My bad. I missed the Darnold era. My bad.
He had
That's on me.
one rough year last year when it wasn't even a bad year in a
No,
wide
but I
receiver
just think from a wide receiver standpoint, a lot of wide receivers, especially guys that see themselves as the number one wide receiver in the NFL, they want the ball. They want to be that guy. And I think it was just getting to him a lot last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he had over 1,000 yards last year still.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. He had 80-some
yeah,
receptions.
it just wasn't the Justin Jefferson we're used to seeing.
Year.
And I think that's probably like the most disappointing part from a non-Vikings fan. It's like when you look at the Vikings, see any clips, you want to see Jefferson ball out. But at the end of the day, I think any quarterback that goes in knows he's the guy. But I feel like depending on this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they get another, Sam Darnold type of quarterback in like they've done every year with they bring in Kyler Murray. I feel like next season I wouldn't be surprised if we get another quarterback battle in training camp. It seems like it's going to be a never-ending thing with J.J. McCarthy. It feels like at this point every season is going to be, we don't really know if he's the guy type of deal. So, that's also a scary thing to have from an owner, from a team perspective too, is, you're keeping this guy around because he's not really, much on the books, and you're just hoping he could become the guy you think he can. But at a certain point in time, they're going to have to call it, and it's more than likely going to be after next year. So I think that next season for the Vikings could be interesting. The Chargers are rocking and rolling down in L.A. If he has his healthy line, I love the Chargers this year. I thought they looked good last year. They lose 2 huge key pieces on the offensive line, and that just completely derails the season. I think for the Chargers, if their O-line can stay healthy, I think they're going to be dangerous out in the West. Other key points, Cowboys. Cowboys just paid Quinnen Williams a massive bag. They got him from the Jets about halfway through last year. The Cowboys, I don't know what you've seen out of camp. I'm loving Caleb Downs. He's looking like the real deal. I've seen him, multiple pass breakups, especially on, some of the guys like CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. I feel like the Cowboys could be an interesting team to look out for this year. I know a lot of people say that every year, but I feel like this is the most complete Cowboys team I've seen in quite some time in my eyes. We'll kind of see if that deal with Quinnen Williams can pay off, and hopefully the defense can get things going, because that was where they struggled last year. I mean, offensively, they're firing on all cylinders. You get a guy like Dak, you give him 2 great weapons, and then you bring in Ferguson at that tight end spot. They're looking real nice on offense as well. They also have Javonte Williams in the backfield. So, I mean, Dallas's offense looks great once again. It's just hoping that defense can click, and obviously with losing a piece like Parsons, that's going to hurt. So I think with this full offseason, I think they'll be able to adjust and really get into that no Parsons mode in their eyes. 49ers still injury bugged. I haven't seen any new reports.
It's just
luckily
coming, just lingering stuff
coming out.
I think it's now getting just pulled out of proportion.
Yeah, 20 guys have been out for practices. I think a lot of that is just knocks, just your usual knocks you'll get throughout training camp and whatnot. And especially for a guy like Mike Evans, you're not going to want to push him. You need that guy for the regular season. You don't need that guy for training camp. He could play. So just trying to keep those guys healthy still. And I saw a clip of Kittle. Kittle's looking like he's on his way to be coming back. He's looking nice and quick again. He went down with a pretty nasty injury last year. So did a lot of the 49ers. But if they could just get out of that substation, I think the Niners could be doing some pretty good stuff in San Francisco. But that division is brutal. I feel bad for any Cardinals player, any Arizona Cardinals fans. You may as well just get ready for the draft, because you ain't doing much in that division this year. I don't think there's been any other big signings. I know today we had a couple joint practices. I believe the Jets were in Tampa Bay for a joint practice, or vice versa. I know the Colts and the Patriots had a joint practice today. I'm sure everyone saw the clip of Sauce Gardner slipping and falling on that little get-back route from A.J. Brown. And that got passed around like wildfire. That's kind of why training camp's so fun, so interesting in my opinion, because you get clips where, I mean, you've seen it. You've seen all of Kyler's bad balls, and then that same day you'll see only one clip of JJ, and it will be the perfect ball. The next day you'll see no clips of JJ, one perfect clip of Kyler. So I feel like the clips always get blown out of people are itching for football to be back. I saw the stat, the Hall of Fame game, 7 million viewers, more than any NHL game last season that was through the Stanley Cup playoffs as well.
Which is absurd.
That's a crazy number to tune in. And it's a preseason game, not even the first regular season game. This was the first preseason game. And, that was crazy to see the numbers come out on that. I was one of the 7 million. I know you were too. But what can I say? Football's coming back. People are itching. We got college football coming up here pretty quick around the corner. So I'm really looking forward to, I think next episode we'll get some college football in there for all you college football fans. And it's going to be a very exciting season. A lot of conferences look loaded this year. And we'll see if Indiana can run it back. But I think that's about all I got in terms of what's been shaken up in America. And we had, the Premier League was a hell of a time. We had some great table predictions, but that top 10 signings, we got a little funky there. And that's going to happen. But overall, I'm excited for football to be back. Football's back. That's all that matters. Episode 41. See you next time.